Hey guys, Blade Check 101 coming at you today with another knife review. This time it's for the Spyderco Yojimbo. You probably won't find this knife anywhere today. I got this. It was one of the last ones that a knife store had out of state from me, but it's like an hour and a half drive. So they had two left. This is one of them. It's a really cool knife. I actually got this as a late Christmas present. I just know that they got it from that the person who got it for me got it from them. This knife is really cool. There is one or two bad things about it that I will allude to during the review, but let's get started because there's a lot to talk about with this knife. First of all, the Spyderco Yojimbo. It is a Michael Janich design, and we have a typical of Michael Janich, a full flat ground Wharncliffe style blade. This one they actually call it a modified Wharncliffe. I'm not sure why. I think maybe because this part dips down slightly, but it's a fantastic ergonomic knife. We have I think it's the 14 millimeter spider hole for your deployment, and deployment, by the way, is wicked fast. And as it should be. This is a purpose-built self-defense knife. When I first saw this knife online a few years ago, I thought it was actually a box cutter, and I really liked the design, so I wanted it. And I found out that it was a Spyderco and that no one had it anymore, simply because it was a production that had gone out a long time ago. I'm not sure how many years ago. At least 10 years ago, this knife went out of production. At least, and really hard to find another one. But anyway, we have blue G10 scales of a medium texture, which is really nice. It supplies really nice grip. Awesome jimping up here. The best jimping, of course, Spyderco's jimping right on the back of the blade right here. And this is how Michael Janich holds his knives pretty much all the time. In a forward grip with the Filipino style assist on here. This knife is completely and totally user friendly except for one detail, and like I said, I'll allude to that later. But in every way this knife is designed for the user. First of all, you have pretty much the same size pivot screws. Sorry, I can't really focus in on that too well. But you have pretty much the same size pivot screws for all the screws on this knife. You have Phillips head, switchable, between left and right carry, not tip up or tip down. However, left and right, you can switch that. You have a decent sized lanyard hole. I personally wouldn't really want a lanyard on this style knife, but that's okay. And one of my favorite things about this knife, to be honest, is the clip design. As you can see on this side and this side, there is a divot in the actual scales themselves, but you also have it here. Now, there's two things that I find this useful for on the clip. One is that when you're taking the knife out of your pocket, that supplies a purchase for this finger, and then you have that. Also, when the knife is out, what it also allows for is an easy pivot between forward and reverse grip. As you can see, I put my fingers right here, and it just slides. Just like that. And I think that's kind of why they did it, because that's really the most natural place for you to do it. It feels really nice. The locking mechanism, and also the clip, sorry about that, but the clip, although it is silvered, it rides relatively low, and for such a long handle, it's more than sufficient, and it's such a small tip here that is showing, so it's really not that big of a deal. The clip is really long and retains very well in your pocket. The jimping on the back here is really substantial as well, by the way. The locking mechanism, this is the first knife I've ever seen this locking mechanism on, and I really like it. I'm just not sure. I'm trying to study how it works and everything, but I really do like it. It keeps your fingers completely and totally out of the way of the blade. You simply push this to the side. It's similar to a liner lock, but it's on the back side of the knife. So you just simply push this to the side, flick it forward, and continue the lock. With a little bit of a weaker one, you can simply disengage the locking mechanism and close it. But yeah, fantastic, fantastic knife. You can tell it's built for someone with bigger hands than myself. I've got small hands. Like this ring is actually a size 10, and I'm wearing it on my middle finger. And it's, you know, it's kind of a, I've kind of got small hands, but the knife I think Michael Janich designed for his hands, which makes sense. And I've got no problem with it, with how it feels either. But the one problem I have with this knife that I will talk about right now is the fact that, like some other Spydercos that I have heard about, never experienced it before with any knife, this is the first one that's happened to me for, and for a $180 knife I expected better, is the fact that there is absolutely no retention between the blade and the handle in the closed position. This thing can just pop right out. It feels like maybe an incredibly weak magnet is in there holding it shut, but that is so incredibly weak. And I thought it wouldn't be a problem because of this nice sweeping design. Like if you were just keep, you know, putting your hand in and out of your pocket, it wouldn't, you know, be a problem. But what actually happened to me was I was in my new apartment unpacking some stuff, and I needed this knife to cut something, and I was drawing my hand down the side of my pocket, and it had actually, I hadn't even put my hand in my pocket. I was actually just kind of itching like the side of my leg, and I noticed that I had a really sharp pain in my finger. And as you can see, can't really get too much detail on there, I'm afraid, but you can see that, you know, the cut right here, and it's healed up really well now. It's been a couple days, but such a sharp knife, obviously it's gonna heal up a lot faster than if it were dull. But it actually went through the clothing, the cloth of my jeans, and exposed itself about maybe a 16th of an inch out of my pocket. And the reason was, it was kind of far away from the edge of my pocket, from the back, I should say, of my pocket. So that actually allowed it to open up, get through my jeans, and I slid my finger down and sliced it up. That's the one thing that scares me about this knife, and that I don't really care for. To elude that now, or to avoid that now, I simply tuck it as far back against the back of my pocket as I possibly can, making sure that it will not open again. And so far it's been okay. But that was the one big time thing that bothered me with this knife, because I mean, if you look at this knife, if this thing opens, that is a sinister point. You start putting your hand on that thing, you're just gonna skewer yourself. So that was the one thing I'm kind of cautious about now. It's never happened to me before, and with an incredibly expensive knife, you would think that it wouldn't happen, but it does. You have a full flat ground CPM S30V, which in my experience is the best steel you can possibly have. Really, really, really cool knife. Works fantastic for EDC, but as I said, purpose-built self-defense knife, as you know, Michael Janich is kind of an advocate for, and the guru of, if you can have such a title. But it's a really, really fantastic knife, and if you can find one, I've only found one online for $275, and I'm not sure what the MSRP is originally on that. Spyderco takes it off of the website as soon as their production is over. Like all their sprint runs, you will not find a price for an out-of-stock item on Spyderco's website. But online, that was the only one that I found. And like I said, the people who got this for me actually bought it at a store. So I mean, you might want to call around if there's several Spyderco dealers around you. See if they still have one, if you like it. It also comes in a black G10, which is kind of cool too. I just really like the blue. It's different, it's cool. You know, how many knives do you have that have blue G10? It's kind of neat. But so that's my review of the Spyderco Yojimbo S30V steel by Michael Janich. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, email me at learniito@aol.com, or post a comment, and of course, you know, leave me a rating of 5 stars. And hope you guys enjoyed the review. Alright, have a great day.